Ooh, an item! I don't need this. We did level 1 only challenges. We did single level 1 only challenge. We did all enemies at level 100 challenges. But a few months ago, I was having a really good time, so my brain decided to change that, and I came up with the idea, why not do both? Here are the rules of the challenge. All trainers will be at level 100, except Wild Encounters and Team Rocket's Pokemon. I can have as many Pokemon in my party as I want, but only one level 1 Pokemon can be used during the whole battle. Before we start, I would like to shout out my new channel, Clueless. If you're into terribly drawn art and even worse comedy, you will love it, so definitely check it out. Now, let's go back to the disaster we have on our hands. We'll need a few things before we start. My team, a few held items, mainly Smoke Ball and Focus Sash. Throughout the challenge, I'll be using around 5 different Smeargles, each with slightly different movesets, but I will only use one for the entire battle, and I can't switch. So grab your popcorn, sit, relax, and enjoy this one. We steal our first Pokemon, get the running shoes, and quickly start our first level 100 battle. This guy. Fun fact! Did you know that if you're about to lose the first scripted encounter, the Starly will just run away from the battle? I think it's a safety check the game implemented for people at my skill level. If only they applied that for all of my upcoming battles. Let me break down one of the strategies used with an easy fight versus a level 100 Staraptor. First turn is almost always the same. I get my ass kicked, survive on 1 HP thanks to Focus Sash, and then put the opponent to sleep using Spore. Next I go for Leech Seed, followed by Recycle, and then Swagger. Leech Seed damages the opponent but also heals me to full. Recycle returns back my used held item, Focus Sash, so now I can survive a second hit by the time the enemy wakes up. Lastly, Swagger confuses and raises the enemy's attack, and since I die from one hit anyways, it actually benefits me when the opponent attacks itself. Now, is this strategy the best one to use? No, it's not. It is RNG heavy, but I like using it against forced battles with 1 or 2 Pokemon, because they take themselves down easily. And with that, we win our first battle. If you say so. Then we get rewarded with 0 XP and move on with our adventure. Easy stuff. So, what happens if there's more than one Pokemon, you say? Say no more. Welcome to the first Gym Leader battle, Brock 2.0. The start is going to be exactly the same. Sometimes. Imagine seeing a level 1 monkey and your first instinct is to explode. Anyways, back to the battle. The first battle is exactly the same. However, I need to keep track of a few key things. 1. I need to make sure I have Focus Sash always up. 2. I need to be at full health before the next Pokemon is sent out. If they attack me without either of those, I'm dead. Notice that I don't care if they go first or about their evasion and accuracy stats. I forgot to mention that for this ROM, I remove all of the opponent's healing items. I learned my lesson from my last challenge. Once I have my setup complete, I can repeat the same strategy over and over. Of course, this is not bulletproof. If I mistime anything, or if I fail to heal in time, or not get a chance to recycle my Focus Sash, I repeat this all over again. And the more Pokemon the enemy has, the higher the chances of this happening. We're going to see a lot of those, and you'll see how my strategy improves as I go along with the challenge. Great, we can take down single Pokemon, we can take down whole teams, and things are looking easy, right? Wrong. Let's go over the first problem. Double battles. In these fights, you're just praying to get good enough luck where they completely ignore you and hit the big fat level 100 Torterra next to you. Later on, I'll be using a Smeargle that knows Protect to help me waste turns as they get obliterated by my partner's team. But one of the worst battles I can have are battles versus grass Pokemon. The best fights I can have are the ones where I can use Leech Seed, because I can use it once and then never have to worry about healing again until the Pokemon goes down. Leech Seed doesn't work on grass types, so I use the second best thing, Paint Split. In case you haven't noticed, this is a different Smeargle. I'm still only using one Smeargle in the entire battle, so we're still following the rules. For this battle, I'm replacing Leech Seed with the move Assist. Assist can use any move my team has as long as the party member is alive. And for this one, assist can go for either Swagger or Pain Split, each with 50% chance because I need both to survive. For Roserade, I'm prioritizing Substitute over Recycle because she has Poison Sting and I cannot allow her to get me poisoned. Otherwise, I lose the battle. After a very long battle, we finally take down her Roserade and acquire our second badge. I want to point out that I'm using Smoke Ball to help me escape encounters. This is something that I always do in my level 1 challenges. But if you really hate yourself, feel free to try it without it. It's merely a suggestion. The rival starts becoming a problem at this point, but we'll come back to that later. For the most part, things go well for the next couple of badges. As well as a level 1 challenge can get, that is. Maylene has physical attackers, so hitting themselves with Swagger's boosts takes them down in one hit. Once I get to her last Pokemon, if they don't have a status or flinching moves, I can just keep using Recycle until they go down to Leech Seed. So they're pretty much guaranteed. As I went on with the challenge, I found myself relying more on Potato Man, because Substitute as a second way to survive was a lot better, and I can always switch my team to give assist different movesets to go for. Whether it's Leech Seed, Pain Split, or Swagger, it gives me a lot of options to play around with. Next is one of the hardest challenges from my childhood, Math. I've had really bad experiences with Fantina from my previous challenges, but luckily this time it went well and I eventually take her down. Byron is one of those battles that would have been a lot more difficult if his team was not at level 100, especially his Steelix, because then he uses Sandstorm, which is a huge problem for me. I had a lot of issues with him in my previous challenges, so I was hoping I didn't have to deal with it this time. Just in case you didn't know, Sandstorm will kill me after he breaks my Focus Sash, so I won't even survive a turn. Hopefully we don't get to face a weather damaging move. Okay, this next part is a huge problem, and I actually stopped the challenge for a while because of it. Starting out the challenge, I was worried about 4 trainers. The later game rival, Gardenia, Cynthia, if we even make it there, and Candace. It gets worse. Her 2 main threats are Grass type, and they automatically start Hail. But don't worry guys, I came prepared. After long testing and planning, I had the perfect plan. I got my Smeargle, gave it the health item Bright Powder, got some awesome new moves for assist, got hyped for an awesome battle, then realized she can start with Ingrain. Alright, new plan. I got my Smeargle with Spore, Swagger, Substitute, and Assist, gave it Chill Bell, replaced assist moves with Endeavor and Dragon Rage. Yup, I'm desperate, alright. Alright, here's how this one goes. The fight can only start if they start with Ingrain, otherwise I reset. I also have to keep in mind that the only way I can heal is with Chill Bell, so until I land an attack, I'm not healing. The start is normal. I put it to sleep using Spore, get it confused with Swagger, and then put up my Substitute. Needless to say, if they wake up during any of this, the fight is over. Now comes the next part. After I put Abomasnow to sleep again, I'm waiting for Assist to land on Endeavor. This will take down all of its HP and fully recover mine, but it leaves one last problem. If I land Dragon Rage, will it be enough to take it down after the healing from Ingrain, or is that too much? Time to find out. And it worked! Of course, I already knew it well, because this wasn't my first attempt. Bad news, however, I have no defense against Medichamp's next attack. Good news? It went for this move, which does nothing, so we're safe. Even better news, Hail helps me against Medicham, so all I need is 1 Endeavor, and it goes down. 2 down, 2 to go. 1 Endeavor into Confusion hit takes care of her second Abomasnow. And the same exact thing for her last Pokemon, Sneasel. I could not believe it, but I was finally over with this badge. I've had similar battles, but this was by far the worst. I even tried strategies with Trick Room and other movesets. It was not fun. Next we scare a Rocket Grunt to drop the most important key to their headquarters.
That's just lazy writing.
Nah. Beat the final gym with our usual setup, Potato Man. Avoid trainers on our way to the league like our life depends on it.
No!
Next is the Elite Four. Good news, the only trainer that has a grass type is Cynthia. But we have to get there first before worrying about that. With what we faced so far, the Elite Four should be a piece of cake. Alright, here's how the Elite Four actually went. Aaron wasn't actually that bad. Toxic I can prevent by keeping my substitute active, and nothing really stands out on his team. Next is Bertha. Sandstorm was the biggest problem in this battle. The good news is that it doesn't last the whole battle. The bad news is that more than one Pokemon has it. And the even worse news is that her last Pokemon, Hippowdon, has Sandstream. So once it's out, I have to take it down fast. Luckily she brings it out last. Flint was a good break. I didn't struggle much against him, and it helped that he did things like Bounce, a 2-turn move, and trying Will-O-Wisp on my substitutes. Lucian's Alakazam had Recover. This doesn't threaten to kill me, but it does waste my power points, and if I get really unlucky, it could end the battle for me. But I'll take it any day over the next battle. Speaking of which, Cynthia. Cynthia was a huge problem. In fact, after so many attempts, I couldn't beat her final Pokemon Roserade. It will always be last because it relies on Nature Cure to switch and heal the sleeping status. Remember that in order to beat the Elite Four, I didn't have Pain Split with me, and with my current moveset, I could not defeat her. But let's say I can change my movesets after the Elite Four. What if I tell you there's a way to beat Cynthia with just a single level 1 Pokemon on your entire team? Cue some badass music, please. Spiritomb can sometimes go for Embargo, preventing me from using any items. Huh, joke's on her, I don't use items anyway. Until I realized that means held items as well. Because in this setup I don't have Recycle, once Focus Sash goes away, just like my dad, it's not coming back. So what changed in this setup? My Smeargle now has Spore, Leech Seed, Substitute, and Nightmare. The stacking damage is what I'm relying on to take down her team of 6, before running out of power points. With that in mind, the best start I can get is if I can take down her Spiritomb while having both my Substitute up and my Focus Sash. It goes well with her Lucario, and I still keep my Focus Sash. Next is Garchomp, and my luck continues as I still keep both of them up. For Roserade, nothing changes. I'm keeping it last by putting it to sleep and expecting the switch into her next Pokemon. Once Roserade is sent out the first time, I can expect Cynthia to bring it out after every takedown. This keeps going until all that remains is her Roserade. Alright, now comes her last and worst Pokemon. I still have my Focus Sash, high enough power points, and I will never get a better chance. This is my best attempt so far. I get my setup going, putting her to sleep, and went for Nightmare right away. Her definition of fun saddens me. And once my substitute is up, I spam Spore in case she wakes up. She does, and I put it back to sleep, but then I make a huge mistake by misclicking substitute. I do that often when I'm nervous, but thankfully she doesn't wake up and her final HP goes down to one last Nightmare. Now, this brings up a really good question. Why the didn't I use this strategy with all the grass type trainers?